However, Israel is ready to respond to the calls of this Council and to give another chance to the government of Lebanon and the international community to create a new reality on the ground. Distinguished foreign ministers and ambassadors, the responsibility which this resolution places on the international community cannot be overstated. The tragedy of the past month could and would have been avoided if the previous resolutions of this Council had been heeded and their provision were fully implemented in all their parts. The resolution adopted today is an opportunity to correct the mistakes of the past and to create a genuine new reality in our region. It establishes a binding arms embargo requiring all states to prevent the supply of arms and weapons to militias and terrorists in Lebanon. It provides for a radically different international force with a mandate and capabilities to use all necessary means in order to create a new situation in Lebanon in which the borders will be secure, Hezbollah will not be rearmed, and South Lebanon will be free of armed militias and weapons. And it sets out arrangements to assure that finally Lebanese armed forces will deploy throughout Lebanon, throughout Lebanese territory, including along the Blue Line. And it calls for the unconditional release of our boys, Udi Goldwasser and Eldad Regev. I hope and I urge you to do all you can to make this happen. But a resolution alone will not do anything and will do nothing unless the tools set out in this resolution are used with resolve and decisiveness. We will be back at this table, if not in a week, then in a month or a year, facing an even greater tragedy. For then the terrorists, supplied no doubt with even more lethal weapons by Iran, will be yet further emboldened by yet another demonstration of our lack of commitment and will. Today's resolution brings to an end weeks of intensive negotiations. But it is not the end of the task. It is indeed only the beginning. We need to seize this moment and open a new chapter for the region, a chapter in which moderation is not seen as weakness, and a hand stretched out in peace is not perceived as one raised in surrender. Mr. President, the stakes could not be higher for Lebanon and Israel or for the region as a whole. These last few weeks have given us a chilling glimpse of what our region could be like if Iran were to succeed in achieving its goal of adding weapons of mass destruction to its lethal arsenal. But in two important resolutions adopted by the Council today and last month, Iran has been sent a clear message. It cannot develop weapons to threaten the region on its own territory, and it cannot fight proxy wars on the territory of others. President Ahmadinejad of Iran, from whom the Hezbollah draws its genocidal ideology, has stated his dogma clearly. There is nothing more beautiful, holier, or more eternal than the death of a martyr, end quote. Today, more than ever, a united and determined response is required from those who believe that, and I quote, there is nothing more beautiful, holier or more eternal than a child able to grow up living in security and peace. Mr. President, I turn once again to my Lebanese colleague and through him to the Lebanese people. There is no quarrel between our peoples. We have no greater wish than to live next to a peaceful and prosperous state of Lebanon, exercising its independence and sovereign responsibilities like any other state. The choice that faces the people of Lebanon is clear. It is a choice between those who develop agriculture and make deserts bloom and those who turn towns into bases of terror and barren land. It is a choice between those who work to advance medicine and bring health to body and limb, and those who manufacture only weapons of destruction to tear limb from body. It is a choice between those who export innovation and technology and those whose only export is terror. Mr. President, a few hours ago, the sun set on Beirut, and in a few hours' time, it will rise over Haifa. This night that bridges those two bleeding cities is the tale of two cities, two people, and two religions. It will end the Muslim holiday and herald the Jewish Sabbath, the holiday of rest and peace. May the sun rise over a new day for both our peoples, a day of peace, tolerance, and prosperity for our children and generations to come, a Sabbath of peace. Shabbat Shalom.